All right, clearly my Gofundme struck a nerve with many people. And so I'm here to help you. I'm not just here to criticize you or to, point out the defects, what's happening out there. I'm here to help. It was about a year ago. I was on a podcast with KCS, just like a live Instagram, right? Live. I forget his name. Sorry, buddy. He's in. I'll tag him. He's in Philly. He's a really good guy. He does lots of that stuff. Sort of Tuesday night lives, I think. Anyway, super good guy. We had a really good conversation, and it's sort of like, as with almost all of the podcasts and lives I do, I don't know what the subject is, and so we just sort of zing off into wherever the conversation leads us. And this one led into invoicing. And so I outlined how I invoice. I invoice for my time. I invoice for my materials. I invoice for the truck that shows up there. I invoice for the tools that I use. Every single tool that I use, I invoice for. There's a bill attached to it. If you buy a $3,000 press gun and you're not billing for that, I think you're dumb. Lots of those softwares out there do like the flat rate pricing, which is just, it's a masquerading lie. You're trying to cram all this crap in there and not freak out your customer. So changing a flapper is like $700. And you can't explain it because you're like, here's what the book says. So I'll get into how the individual things that I do. But I learned it from a lawyer. Have you guys ever got a bill from a lawyer? If you haven't, find someone to share their lawyer bill with you. It was probably 30 years ago that I got my first lawyer bill. And I literally went through the 5 stages of grief. Right? You know what the 5 stages of grief are? First one's like denial. So you're like, there's no freaking way that this bill is this much. There's no way. Right? And then I was mad about it. I'm like, this is crazy. And then the next stage is bargaining. I phone him up. I'm like, dude, you got to do better than this. And he said, no. I'm not doing better than that. That's the bill. I hang up the phone and I went into a depression, which is the 4th stage of grief. And I'm like, how am I going to pay this bill? This is ridiculous. Like, they're literally ripping me off. And then the final stage of grief, number 5, is acceptance. I literally accepted the fact that I was going to have to pay this bill. And the point is if you've ever got a lawyer bill, those bastards will charge you $700 an hour and 18 cents a copy. Or $18.72 for the phone call they made in your behalf. It is astounding what those guys charge. Anyway, after I sort of went through my 5 stages of grief and accepted the fact that that's how it works, I sort of tuned in and said, why don't I do that? I think I'm as smart as, certainly as valuable as to my customer base as a lawyer. And so I've implemented that for probably 20, 25 years. So we charge a truck charge at the top, whatever that number you wants to be, to have a inventoried vehicle show up to do the work. We charge a minimum of 2.5 hours to show up. We charge for every part that we use. We do not use markup, we use margin. And I'm not going to go into the difference of that. If you don't know the difference between markup and margin, then you need to take business class and not buy that stupid software from slobberjob.com. Don't do it. Don't buy Service Titan or any of that shit. Learn what the F you're doing first. So we shoot for 55% margin. I'm not going to explain it. That's what we do. And then If I pull out a soldering kit, it's $85. If I use a Super V, it's $35. If I pull out a press gun, it's $175. And people lose their... Sorry, when I was on that live with KCS, people are like, that's insane. There's no way I can get that. There's no way people will pay for that. Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. If you prove to them that you're worth it and no one else can compete with you, that you're in a class all of your own, and that means that you're ready, available, capable, and can actually complete the job in a timely fashion, dude, nobody. There is 2% of plumbers out there that can, 2% of the plumbing companies out there that can actually do that. That's it. People will pay you because you're that good. Now, if you're taking 6 weeks off and don't answer your phone and have to make 4 trips to fix a job, then you can't. People are like, dude, you suck. I'm going to find somebody else. We show up, diagnose, fix, replace, get everything done in one visit with a 92% success rate. That doesn't mean we don't have to go back or order parts or whatever that may be. But those are rare exceptions, particularly in the service realms that we work in, because we understand what our customers need, we understand what breaks, and we have that stuff in our trucks. That's why I'm able to do that. And then the last item that we charge on is shop supplies. Miscellaneous, whatever that is. And that's a percentage of the invoice. Just like GST. Just like your sales tax. That's how that works. And if someone wants a deal, then we may lower the shop supplies. That's it. You should protect your margins, your profits at all costs, because no one else will. This is the reality of that saying. No one cares. No one cares if you make money. Nobody cares if you make money. Let me repeat that a third time. No one cares if you make money. If I went out of business tomorrow, there'd be a dozen plumbing companies that would be overjoyed. They would come in like vultures and try and take over all of my client base. The people would be delighted if I went out of business. There'd be people on this app that would be delighted if I went out of business. No one cares if you make money. It is your responsibility, if you own a business, to make sure that you protect your margins, not your markup, your margins. I can't say that enough. There's a massive difference between margin and makeup or markup. If you don't know that, do not go into business. If you are already in business and don't know that, you better fix that this weekend. Learn the difference. I'm telling you, man, it'll change your life. So, you wanna look after yourself. You want to do some, you know what I mean? You cannot go in on your very first job with no reputation and do that stuff. You're right. It takes time to build that your rep and your brand, so people know and trust you and know that they're getting quality for their money. And I'm not for everybody. There are people that are like, dude, that's outrageous. I'm like, all right, have a nice day. You're welcome to find somebody else. So, as I said, I'm not here just to sort of smack people around. Those are the tips that you need to do. Watch this again, so you know what you should include on every single invoice. Flat rate is for suckers. Flat rate is for cowards that won't face the music and can't explain why their bills are what they are. I can explain every single thing that I use and why it is what it is. And when I have an intelligent conversation with an intelligent customer, no problem. If I'm dealing with a meatball, I guess I'm never working for you again. And there's lots of meatballs out there. So, my thoughts, not yours. Have an excellent Friday. I'm here to help. Namaste. You chongos, you're all fucking chongos.